Hi everybody, Kent from Oz here, and well, it's been a while since I've done a video, so I've just decided to do a end of 2015 update. I made myself a latte, skinny latte with 2 stevia, and well, I'm going to be drinking this as I talk. It will be a little bit long, this video, I guess, so I'll try and keep it as short as I can, but there's a lot to say, and well, anyway, here we go. So let me just take one sip and then I'll begin. Love my coffee. All right, so today I'm just going to talk very in detail about where I'm up to with my planner. Now, those who are following my videos will know that this is the pocket size Filofax Malden, and I have modified it quite a bit, and so we'll talk about that. I'd like to just quickly talk about how it has aged nicely over the last year. Now, you can see there that the video is a little bit hard to show exactly what it's like in real life, but you might be able to pick up there's this sort of dark wear and stained area there, and what that is, now I've worked that out, is my carry mark, and my thumb when I'm carrying the binder, actually the thumb goes there, so you can see that there's the rub mark there, and then my hand impression here. And what's happened is that I carry this with me all day, so I'm holding it and it's sort of wearing out. The leather is getting to be quite smooth, and still very supple and not dry at all, and so it's getting a little bit of well, what I call badges of courage, I guess, the marks and so on. I've got a few little scratches and so on. So that's just the outside there. Now you might notice I've just got a small little feather and a little trinket there that I've placed on the outside. I don't actually have a reason why I put it there, except that I just thought it looked pretty good, and it also sort of complemented this clip clasp, which is a brass clasp which I got. It's basically just glued on with heavy duty glue onto the clasp, and it also is quite good for quick clasping, and I've got quite large hands, so that it's able to with just one action be able to put the clasp on quite quickly when I'm in a hurry and so on. So anyway, let's open it up and have a look and see what I am doing. So on the inside we've just got let's have a look at the inside from the top. Now at the moment, and this is the last week of 2015, I've got two Moleskine sections. Okay, so the first one is one large 18-month Moleskine pocket size diary, and at the moment I've just used up the first 6 months. I've got a little paper clip there, and then this is 2016 ready to be used. It's quite pristine, and I haven't really started that yet, and I'll do that in the first couple of days of the new year. On the back side I've got two Moleskine notebooks, smaller ones, which I have just taped together, and that will be replaced with something else which I'll talk about later. You'll notice there, again, if you haven't seen my videos, the rings are removed, and there's a video on my channel that will show you how to do that. And I'm still really liking this whole setup, and it's very different from the Midori style ones where I don't have the books attached to the center, but mine are actually attached to the covers on either side, and I've got this bit of a gap in between, and I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. At the back pocket for the Malden, which I've got paperwork and so on. So that's basically my setup. I'll talk very quickly about my pen, and after a lot of soul searching I've gone back to the Coletto multi inserted pens. I use a very 0.38 tip. I like a fine tip, and so I've got a pencil and two black, one as a spare, and then I've got a brown, you can see there, a brown pen, which I use just for extra notes and just to make my writing stand out a bit differently from my regular notes. So let's look at the beginning. I've got a dashboard, zippers, and this is, I won't go through what's in the pockets, but it's a dashboard, and the first book is just simply wedged in that first large vertical pocket there. I put the dashboard on because I do stick things on, and I'd rather have something a little bit more secure. So this is paper with laminated, and I've just cut it to size and washi taped it down. And then I stick things on like sticky notes and so on. I've got my standard clip up the top there, which I just use as a bit of a reference to open it up, and I quite like them. And then on the inside I've got these, which are the sticky highlighters, which I'll talk about at another time, and a little code here for myself, just to remind myself. I won't go into that. Some timetables and some more sticky notes, nothing too major. Calendars, which is at the beginning of most Moleskine. They're quite tiny, but I use them just to write birthdays or some important events, but I don't usually refer to this too much. My one resolution for year 2016 is to utilize the calendar just a bit more. And then this is the 2016 calendar, which is still quite unused. A few little things I've put in there. And then this is the diary section, which I'll just take the pin out to show you. And what I've got here is what I use daily, and I have done videos on this, but I'll go quickly through how I use this. You'll notice I've got a couple of different styles here. I've got washi tape on the top of each page. Now there's two reasons for that. It reinforces the page because I'm opening and flipping and closing all day, and it helps to keep the paper just not in a bad condition. So I've got these highlighters, and these are used for marking different things. The blue one is for birthdays and anniversaries, and I've got yellow ones here for things to do that I need to pay attention to, and then I have orange ones which will be used, there's a few orange there, used for usually financial things, bills and so on. On the left side I have I'll go to this week. Left side I've got the calendar from Monday to the weekend, and I just put my times here, and then on this side I have to-do lists, and then on this side I use a sort of a hybrid bullet journal to-do list down the side. I'll just move that so you can see I've got the bullets on the side there, and then as a working list I've also usually used sticky notes and so on. So there's another one from the previous week, and there's another small one which I just washi taped on, and then eventually once I've cleared and I've ticked or transferred that over, then they get removed and so on. The following week is a whole list of other lists which I just sort of add to as I go, and then that goes up to the 2016 diary, which will continue on exactly the same way. So that's basically what I'm doing at the moment with, oh, nice motorbike going by, the Moleskine. So no surprises, but what I will say is it's been over a year since I've done this and used this system, and it's actually, I'm not changing anything. It's just really after a lot of soul searching and looking at different ways of what I needed, this is how it works for me. At the back I've got, this is serving two purposes. I have a daily outline of my day. So what I do is I make a list and basically just write what I do during the day as a record, which doesn't have a lot of space in the front bit here to do that. So I just make a list and write anything important, and so it's sort of like a mini journal. When I do journal I can read through these and then, oh yeah, that's right, I remember that, and then I can write a bit more about that at a later date. Some notes, I write lots of notes, And then on the second book, I've just got lists, master lists of things to do, planning, house, family, career, work, goals, measurements, measuring things around my household, and just basically bits of information that I need, contractors and so on. So that's there. I ran out of a bit of room in that first book for my daily account diary, so I've just continued on here. And at the very end, I've just got my, any time I spend something quite big or pay a bill, I just note it down. This is very good for taxation at the end of the taxation year. I don't use the back at all, except occasionally when I'm sort of really needing just to be a bit mobile. My iPhone 4, which I still use, fits in really well at the back, so it actually closes up quite well. So I carry that around with the phone inside. Now, it does stretch things a bit as I've got a lot of paper in, so I don't often do it, but it is handy just to do that. But I don't really have much in the back at all. So that's basically my setup. So no big surprises. A couple of things I will highlight. So let's have a quick look at this. Is just the washi tape. And I'll just pull out these 3 notes. And I just place washi tape on the curved, cut around the curved corners and top and bottom. I think it does 2 things. It frames the page, because if you have a look at the blank pages, it is really quite boring. So, okay, it's quite boring. I do like a little bit of interest in the page, and I find that little framing of washi tends to just create a balance of interest on the page. And secondly, as I said earlier, it really also does just make this a little bit more solid, so it doesn't tear. If you look at the top, you'll see that it gets to be quite rugged, and I quite like that. That's the new, that's the rugged. So in the new year, 2016, this will continue on. I will probably go through, consolidate, oops, focus, there we go, consolidate all of some of these things that I have to just maybe see whether I've achieved all those objectives and goals. Start on 2016, then I'll sort of bind 2015 up, so I don't really need to refer to it, and that way it's easy just to flick through it. The other change I'll do is I will remove these 2, because I'm finishing these 2 for this year, and I'm replacing it with just 1. So I bought another Moleskine notebook, just an ordinary one, ruled lines, nothing fancy, and I will divide this up into the same categories as I've done with these 2 books. So it'll be a planning, notes, daily list journal of what I do, plus my expenditure and so on. And what that will do is, I find that the 2 notebooks together is just a little bit awkward, and they can come apart sometimes, and I prefer just to have that as one there. And it's about the same width, as you can see there, and that way I'll have just the 2 books, the 2 notebooks in the one Malden. So that's my setup for 2016, and a couple of little reflections. Number 1, it has taken me quite a long time to work out exactly what I needed and what works for me, and it came down to a couple of things. It comes down to, I want something that is quick to use, easy to read, easy to write in, and everything is there at a glance. You don't need to go into another binder. Everything I need has been condensed down into this one binder here. That was the first thing. The second thing was the decoration, which I enjoyed doing, I was becoming a slave to it, and I found that I really couldn't keep up the look of the binder And when it comes down to it, it really is only for me. So I made that decision. Washi tape was easy to do. I sat down and just did 4 or 5 pages at a time, and then basically I've got that embellishment. Also just the external little bits and pieces. I always find that this makes a bit of a sound, which means I can hear it in my bag when I don't need to check my bag, or in the morning I've got when I'm carrying it, so it's like a little bit of an alert. And then lastly, it's this size, which is the pocket size. It's just holds well in my hand. It's easy to carry. It can go into a pocket, and it's with me at all times. So at the moment, I'm not going to use the word planner piece because I think that it's a work in progress, but I'm happy with what I've come up with. Who knew that a ringless Malden with the large pocket was just what I needed? But if you followed my journey, then you can see the processes I've gone through. So, and that's basically it. So I'm wishing you a very happy 2016. Thank you for your support, watching my videos, and I'll see you around in the Filofax and planner events and different things. So have a good year, and I'll see you on another Kent from Oz Filofax video.